Hi and welcome. I'm Anna, and for the past 15 years, I have been guiding women through transformation through yoga, retreats, psychological games, and deep inner work. I live in Bali now, but I have worked with women from all over the world, and no matter the background, I keep hearing the same questions. Why do I feel stuck? Why do I keep repeating the same patterns in relationships or work? Why is it so hard to finally feel grown up? This podcast is born from those questions, not the kind of growing up that means paying bills or getting a title. I'm talking about emotional maturity, mental sovereignty, and inner freedom. In this episode, I want to explore why growing up is so hard, even for the smartest, most conscious women, and how understanding archetypes can help us move from survival mode patterns to real self leadership. Because I believe you're not broken. You are just working with the strategies that were built for a different time in your life. And it's time to shift. Let's dive in. You see, we all come into this world as open systems, absorbing everything: words, emotions, rules, silence, approval, punishment. We don't think our way into who we are. We adapt, we survive. And in those early years, we built what psychologists often call archetypal strategies, patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving that help us navigate the world we were born into. If your family valued obedience, maybe you learned that being quiet and good was the safest option. If your culture praised achievement, maybe you became the perfectionist. If your environment was unpredictable or painful, maybe you became hyper aware of others' needs just to feel safe. These are what I call childhood strategies. They are rooted in what I call junior archetypes. They served you, they helped you survive, but the problem is most of us never update them. We grow up, we enter new kinds of relationships, new challenges, new environments, but we keep running the same inner software, trying to be liked, accepted, seen as good enough or not too much. And that's when it starts to hurt. We begin to project our unmet needs into others. We seek validation instead of truth. We feel stuck between wanting to grow and being terrified of what growth might require us to let go of. And life starts to feel unsafe again. But here is the thing: this is not failure, it's a signal, a call to evolve. Let's take a moment and look at something obvious. Growing up takes time. Physically, you can't jump from being a child to being an adult overnight. There is this whole messy, magical, chaotic stage in between: adolescence. And if you think about it, adolescence isn't just a time of physical change, it's a training ground for the mind. In that phase, we didn't just follow, we questioned, we experimented, we tried things, we failed, we changed directions, we explored new interests. Does this subject light me up? Do I like this kind of friendship? Who do I want to become? What do I believe? We fell in love, often recklessly. We wanted to be seen, heard, and felt. We rebelled against rules we didn't choose. We played, we created, and we dreamed. And maybe for the first time, we began to take responsibility for our choices. This is the essence of what I call middle archetypal strategies. They're not just survival based, they have exploratory, creative, identity building. They help us move from reacting to life to shaping it. But here is the part many of us miss. If we skip this stage emotionally or are shamed out of it too soon, we can't fully step into mature thinking. We may look like adults, but inside we are still trying to be the good girl, the rebel, or the invisible one, not the woman who leads her own life with depth and intention. Maturity isn't about perfection, it's about integration. And integration takes action, not just thoughts. So now the big question, if growth is natural, why is it so damn hard? One reason is that we are not just working with our personal history. We are working with something much bigger, something John called the collective unconscious. Think about this. More than 100 billion people have lived before us. Their fears, beliefs, behaviors, and patterns, especially the ones passed down for survival, are encoded in the collective field of humanity. This field affects our individual subconscious, whether we like it or not. And because most of human history has been about survival, not self realization, the junior archetypes, the ones focused on safety, pleasing, belonging, following rules, still dominate the collective field. That means when you try to break free, to create something different, to question the old patterns, it doesn't just feel hard, it feels unsafe, like you are betraying something ancient. But here is the truth, unless we consciously update our internal strategies, we will instinctively act from outdated infantile modes of being, not because we are weak, but because no one taught us how to navigate this inner transition. We live in a time where psychology, coaching, archetypal work, and conscious communities finally exist. We now have the tools. We now have the language. What we need is the courage to use them. And even though your individual unconscious may feel small in the face of all that collective conditioning, your growth matters. Your shift, no matter how personal or quiet, contributes to the collective future. So if you have been feeling stuck, like something in you wants to grow, but old fears keep pulling you back, know this. You are not alone. You are not broken. You are simply standing at the edge of transformation. And you are not just doing this for yourself. Every time You choose to reflect instead of react. Every time you take responsibility instead of blame. Every time you dare to write the story you inherited, you help shift the entire system. You contribute to a new kind of collective unconscious, one that future generations will grow up with. Maturity isn't a destination. It's not something you achieve once for all. It's a practice of self awareness, of compassion, of courageous choice. And maybe that's the most radical thing a woman can do in today's world, to become fully, consciously, maturely herself. So if this speaks to you, stay with me. There is more to explore, more patterns to name, more freedom to claim, and together we will walk that path, not to become someone else, but to finally return to the woman you were always meant to be.